Hey guys, it's Shelby. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in for another video. In today's video, we're going to be diving into the difference between cancel culture and holding somebody accountable, how that pertains into what's going on in the beauty community now with Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star, Tati Westbrook, and just kind of really diving into my thoughts and yours down below. What is the difference between cancel culture and holding somebody accountable for the actions that they've done that might not have been in the best taste or might not align with things that are just humanly right or things that we personally might believe in. So if you're interested in talking about all that drama with me, then make sure that you keep on watching.
Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see.
So, I had to scratch the microphone. I'm so sorry. I consider myself well versed in the subject of a beauty community drama or YouTube drama in general. So I do consider myself somebody who keeps up with all of this stuff, who knows the tea at any given point in time. I will say though that as of late, the drama that happened with the Carmageddon and even Dramageddon 2, this all gets into some really, really dark territory and some deep stuff here and some stuff that's just not tea. It's just really heavy, kind of fucked up stuff. I just want to kind of talk to you my thoughts on everything that's been going on as far as what happened this past summer with Shane Dawson or whenever that was, like 6 months ago, and that whole thing happened with Carmageddon, into now and what I see happening and what I feel is going to happen in the future as far as those two things go. I'm also going to be kind of doing my makeup while I do this with you guys, and I'll be talking to you about some products and stuff that I'm using, but this will not be a tutorial video. It's just going to really be a commentary video with me talking about my thoughts on everything that's going on. So when we talk about Shane Dawson and we talk about his role on YouTube, he was very much seen until about 6 or 7 months ago as the king of YouTube, as the dad of YouTube, as someone who comes in and creates these awesome documentaries about people that really kind of shows who they really are and doesn't show them in such a negative light as maybe the internet made them out to be as a result of a scandal or drama or whatever. These documentaries he's been doing within the past few years have always been with extremely problematic people. We're talking the likes of Jake Paul, Tana Mojo, Jeffree Star. He's known for kind of saving careers at this point in his YouTube career. Now, back in the day, he was known for some other stuff, which we're going to kind of get into in a little bit here, but for the last few years, he's really been looked at as one of everybody's favorite YouTubers, the dad of YouTube. My beauty blender's not wet. Hold on. And I think it's important to note how highly he was looked at in the beauty community for a few reasons that'll come to light a little bit later on in this video. I'm using the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Tinted Moisturizer today for my foundation. I think it's important to note that because sudden fall of his popularity and the way people have been looking at him, his sudden fall from YouTube is very, very strange considering he was always the person who was the dad of YouTube, who saved people's careers, who did all of these things. Now he himself is in that position where he needs saving, so to speak, from all the drama and everything. Recently this summer, it was brought to everyone's attention in the beauty community by Tati Westbrook that Shane Dawson had much more to do with the James Charles Dramageddon 2 situation and the Bias Sister situation and the cancellation of James Charles in 2019. It was brought to our attention that he was working closely with Jeffree and allegedly was working on exposing James Charles and his documentary with Jeffree Star, and it was going to be about the drama in the beauty community, and he was going to expose James Charles for being this horrible narcissistic person that he supposedly is. It was brought to our attention that Shane Dawson had a lot to do with that whole thing, which nobody even really considered back when this was happening in 2019. We didn't even really include Shane in much of the talk that was happening about Dramageddon 2 in 2019. Tati put out a video, she's been gone from YouTube as well, but she put out a video about 5 months ago at this point, basically apologizing to James for everything that happened in 2019 with Vice Sister, saying that she was manipulated by Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson into uploading that video, that they were feeding her all of these lies about James, making him seem to be somebody that was doing these horrible things. It was later proven that what they were saying was not exactly how things went down. Shane apparently had a much bigger part in this than we initially realized in 2019. Because of this drama, and this happens a lot in the beauty community, when there is drama put out about you, the internet trolls start their digging. And because of this, they found a lot of dirt on Shane Dawson that they started to bring up. Now, this isn't new. A lot of the stuff that was being brought up about Shane when the people were digging up his past wasn't stuff that hasn't been addressed before. But the problem was, it was more of it. And there were some new allegations coming out as well. And these are on some really, really heavy topics, like things I don't even want to say on camera, but allegedly his saying things to younger women, things allegedly that he did with animals that he owned, with extremely racist actions on his YouTube channel, like blackface and saying the N-word and flat out calling, don't quote me on this, but it's a video that I'm sure you can find a clip of somewhere online of him calling a black woman like a monkey, N-word or something. Like, just really crazy stuff was coming out about Shane Dawson during this time. It's important to note this is also during the Black Lives Matter movement, so really not a worse time for these kind of allegations to come out against you. Although if you did them and it's public on the internet, I mean, these were clips from his former videos that he had on the internet. He was still making money off merch, like racist merch that he had created in the early 2010s. He was still actively making money off these videos and still had merch actively available for sale based on some of these issues with racism and all that. People really didn't forgive him this time. All of this stuff came up. It ended up getting the attention of the Smith family because of some things that were just absolutely disgusting that he said about Willow Smith. And so now you're in mainstream media and it's no longer just the YouTube world quote unquote canceling you. Now you have actual celebrities and stuff canceling you. It really honestly transcended beyond YouTube, and it was honestly really crazy to watch all of it unfold and just see all the things that people were saying about Shane, seeing all the proof of it in the videos that he created and all of that. As someone who didn't watch Shane Dawson back in the days when he was producing this content, I knew his face, I know his face, but I did not watch his content. I guess I possibly had seen a video or two, but I was not somebody in the 2010s when I was in high school or like college in the early 2010s and stuff. I was not somebody who watched a lot of YouTube, so I did not know about this content really. I didn't associate Shane Dawson with this kind of content that was coming up about him, the stuff from his past. And so I consider myself a fan of Shane Dawson. I got the conspiracy palette. Where is it? It's in my box there, but I got the conspiracy palette the day that it came out. I made a whole video about it. I even mentioned in the video that I was just really wanting to support Shane and everything that was going on. And I was so proud of him, and he's such a good person. I really wanted to support him. And it was hard as a fan just to see somebody who you like and respect so much, all of these horrible things come to light about them. It was really, honestly, really kind of hard as a fan and a viewer. So, and I think that a lot of people felt that way, which led to further disappointment from his fan base against him. And he really honestly was public enemy number one at this point. Everyone was out to get Shane Dawson. This all came to a head the day that Tati released her apology video to James, where she alluded to the fact that Jeffree and Shane manipulated her into creating the By Sister video and that Shane Dawson had a much bigger role in this whole thing. And there's a lot more that goes into that video that Tati put out, and if you want to check it out, you definitely can. It's still up on our channel for you to check out, but there's a lot that goes in there. And Tati, I just want to say this, Tati is not completely innocent in everything that happened. Tati is not innocent. Tati is a grown woman. The things she said about James Charles that were not true, the way that she impacted his life, and the things that she did, she's not innocent in, and she's a grown woman. She knew what she was doing and the implications of what she said, what they might be. I don't know if she knew the extent that it would reach to, or if there was more stuff going on behind the scenes that made her not really care because this and this was going to happen supposedly or whatever. Tati definitely knew what she was doing when she did it, and I definitely don't think she's completely innocent in all this. However, of the 3 players that I'm mentioning in this video, which are Shane, Jeffree, and Tati, I do think Tati is the most innocent and the most forgivable of the 3, just based on basically everything that I know about them. So Tati's past experiences that we know of, what's come out about Jeffree's past, what's come out about Shane's past, and there's not really anything that's come out about Tati in her past, and just the way I've always known them to uphold themselves. Tati was just somebody who did YouTube videos about makeup, and she really stayed out of the drama until she met Jeffree Star. And because Jeffree is the key component in that, I definitely am not as quick to completely write off Tati, but she definitely was not innocent in all of the things that played out, so I definitely don't want it to seem like that either. When Tati uploaded that video, Shane went on Instagram Live as he was watching it. That was a situation in itself, because Shane flew off the handle, started calling Tati a liar, saying that she was manipulating people, that her tears were fake. There was a part when she was talking about abuse and how she suffered from it, that Shane, you could see him rolling his eyes and saying that, what, you're so manipulative, blah blah blah. After that, it was like a 15-second, it's on the internet if you want to see it, it was like a 15-second clip of him on 15 seconds or 30 seconds, he was on live, and he was basically just going in on Tati as he was watching this video that she uploaded to the internet. He did that, and then he also, and I'm not sure the timing of this exactly, but around the same time, he uploaded just this big Twitter rant note, basically bashing the beauty community, saying he was done with it, that everybody was crazy and all of that, but still saying that he supported Jeffree Star and all of that, saying he wanted out of the beauty community, he was done with it forever. So after the Instagram Live situation and the Twitter note, Shane Dawson basically disappeared from the internet for the better of the past 6 months since this has happened. There were merch launches from his merch line that really launched, and he never really announced anything with them. He basically disappeared off of the internet. There was still a lot of hate being sent his way on Twitter and stuff, and people really never forgot about the drama. A lot of times when there are these big scandals and stuff in the beauty community or in the YouTube world, people don't really, people kind of move on and forget about them. Because these allegations were so heavy, I think is the reason that people just didn't really forget. And these things, they weren't being talked about as often, but they still definitely were being talked about. By the way, for my eyes today, I'm using the Lunar Beauty Eternal Eclipse palette. So recently, Shane has been popping back on to the interwebs. The first thing I remember seeing is just like some advertisements for merch that was coming out, that you didn't have to buy it, but I'm just going to tell you that it's happening, and I know you don't want to spend any money, but people like a good sale. This is during Black Friday. But no pressure, I just want to let you know that I dropped new merch. On one hand, I understand having inventory of stuff and pushing things back as much as you can, and then not being able to push stuff back anymore, that despite a scandal, you have to release the merch so that, or else the company, Killer Merch, which is owned by Jeffree Star, you're in a contract, and you have to fulfill obligations to a certain extent. And I do think that Shane probably did hold back some of his most recent launches that he did with his merch line, like his slime and stuff. I think that he probably did actually hold back the launches of some of those things, maybe partially due to COVID and also due to everything that's been going on. He popped back online to tell us about the launch of that. And then he was he's been like slowly like blipped in Ryland's videos that he's been uploading. And then most recently he was there was a podcast, The Sip, Ryland Adams, who is, if you don't know who Ryland Adams is Shane Dawson's fiance. By the way, these shadows are blending so beautifully. I'm so in love with this palette by Manny MUA. It is really, really good. And no, I'm not using this to be shady since I'm talking about Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson in this video. I just wanted to use this palette because it's new. Shane has been popping up in little tiny ways all over the internet. And so what my mind goes into thinking is, oh, Shane's coming back to the internet. That's like what your mind goes to, right? So in almost every place that we have seen Shane since he has slowly started to creep back into the internet, there's been, and this is kind of something that Shane has used for a long time. Shane has always tried to be known as like this ultra relatable person. He's not rich. He's not this. He's just an average, awkward, shy person with social anxiety and issues and doesn't leave the house and blah, blah, blah. He's like the ultra normal guy. Well, the fact of the matter is, he's really not that normal. I mean, he's he's one of the OG YouTubers with millions upon millions of YouTube subscribers. And honey, he's making money off of all those videos that have those. Every single one of those videos has millions upon millions of views. He's making AdSense money off of every single one of those every single month. He is not poor, honey. And so when he goes around saying he's poor and all this stuff, his whole shtick has been being this ultra relatable person on YouTube. And I think that that's important to note when we start talking about his return to the internet and how I think he's trying to get people to forget about the drama and accept him. What I think that in all these ways that he's coming back to the internet, when he's like saying, oh, you don't have to buy my merch, da, 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 you know, I just know you love a good sale, relatable, sweet, you know, I'm so awkward and shy, like don't mind me, I just wanted to let you know this is here, but like don't mind me, like that whole like shtick. I feel like it's a manipulative tactic to get for people to find him endearing and want to accept him again. The reason I say it's manipulative is because that behavior that, oh, you know, don't mind me, I'm just blah blah blah, you know, oh, like, you know, you don't have to do this. Oh, I don't want to bother anybody, but I'm just doing this. This whole like appearance on the camera, Ryland Adams podcast from Jeffree Star when they did the podcast together about how 2020 has been a rough year and cancel culture is so tough. That was actually the reason that I'm filming this video today, was because of that statement, really. Jeffree Star brought up Shane in that, you know, it's been a tough year for me and Shane because cancel culture is so rough, or whatever he said allegedly. To me, it seems like a manipulative tactic. He's trying to get people to fall in love with his endearing little shtick again, which is in a way manipulating his audience. I feel that's my personal opinion. You don't have to have the same opinion as me, but that is just my personal opinion on everything. And that brings me to my point. 31 minutes and 54 seconds into the video is when people do things that are actually bad things. Is that canceling when we choose to lose interest in them, or is that simply holding the person accountable for their action? Because when you look at this situation, I mean, these aren't light-hearted allegations against Shane Dawson. These are really heavy allegations against him, and allegations of these are not lighthearted things. And there are videos on the internet, I think until this day, that Shane is profiting off of, where he's demonstrating racist actions. He's demonstrating these things. He has blackface. There's all of these things. And if we decide that, or we come to the realization that someone's fame and every dollar almost that someone's made has been based off of, or not every dollar. I don't want you guys to start in the comments below being like, well, Shelby, he made food videos and conspiracy videos and da-da-da too. Okay, but a large portion of the money that he's made has come from videos that are extremely racist and poor taste. Or, in more recent years, trying to humanize and saving problematic people like Tana Mojo. But you're saving problematic people like Jeffree Star, there's incredibly horrible allegations out against him right now too. It's a whole different video. Are you really this guy that we don't have to cancel and that we can forgive and move on and just move on with our lives? Or do we hold you accountable and say, I'm sorry, I can't support you anymore because my morals tell me that's not right to support somebody whose career is largely built on making seem funny or enabling the bad, poor behavior and decisions made by other huge influencers or just shitty people. I don't know that this is as simple as us saying, oh, well, let's move on and forgive him. He said some things in his past that he regrets, and we move on. No, because the thing is, if Shane realized all of those things, then he would have taken this stuff down a lot earlier and wouldn't have still been making money off of this. He was making money off of these YouTube videos until this year, you guys. It wasn't like he realized a long time ago the error of his ways and all of that. He was still making money off of it. He still had merch up that was... I don't know that you really learn from your actions. I don't know all that, because what I see and what's been shown to me this year is that, yeah, you haven't said anything racist in the past however many years publicly, but you still left all that other stuff up to be found. If you had a problem with it and you changed so much and you really saw that it was bad, then why didn't you take it down? It just kind of all piles up on top of each other. And that's the situation that's so different with Shane Dawson than what we've seen with other influencers. Is that this situation with him just kind of piles and piles and everything goes on top of each other. So it's like, it's not just the enabling the behavior of these problematic people. It's not just saying or doing things in your past. It's not just the comments you made about young girls. It's not just any of that. It's not just the thing that happened with James Charles and you got yourself involved in some drama you shouldn't have. It's that, on top of that, on top of that, on top of that, on top of that. And altogether, that becomes really hard to support. I bring this up because Shane is started to come back into the internet and he's started to make himself seen again. And I feel like he's coming back, okay? I don't think we could have expected him to stay gone forever. I mean, this is how he makes his money. Yes, I think he could walk away from YouTube and be fine for the rest of his life, but I never thought there was a chance in hell he'd do that. And I think that that's being proven by his appearances in Morgan's videos, or the mention of him in Morgan's videos, and him being seen on the SIP, in his little Instagram stories and stuff that he's been doing. He's coming back, you guys, and it's time for us to make a decision as to how we feel moving forward and if we're going to support him or not. The man makes well-filmed documentaries. When you take into consideration the subject matter and how the storyline and how he creates storyline to make people seem like something they're not, it's a great, he's talented. Do we still support it? And that's a decision that each person needs to make personally. I can't make that for you. If you choose to still support Shane Dawson, that's on you. That's none of my business. Do you know what I'm saying? But I do think that you should really think about who it is and what it is that you're actually supporting when you support somebody, when you support him. Because to support somebody like that, it's just letting them know that what they did was okay. And it's enabling that kind of behavior and making the people who don't have a platform that exhibit that kind of behavior, making them think that they can do it publicly too. But ultimately, at the end of the day, that's up to the individual person and what they're willing to accept and forgive, and what moral lines they're willing to cross chaos or blur for the sake of entertainment. So, and that's it for today's video, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Leave me some comments down below on your thought about all of this drama with Shane Dawson, his return to YouTube, with what you think about cancel culture and how you think it differs from holding people accountable. Let me know all of your comments and all of that drama down below, and I'll be interacting with you guys as well. This is a really interesting topic, and I'm really interested in hearing your viewpoints on everything. Let's keep it polite and not hateful. If you liked today's video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below and ring the bell so you're notified of all of my future videos when they do post. I am posting every single day in December for Vlogmas, so you can catch a new video every single day at 12 p.m. Central Time up until Christmas Day. So stay tuned for all of that, and there is a playlist actually on my channel titled Vlogmas 2020 if you want to catch out previous Vlogmas videos. There's a little bit of everything in there, guys. There's food reviews, there's a little mukbang in there, there's some shopping vlogs, there's Christmas list things and Christmas idea lists and all kinds of different content. You can follow me on all of my social media at Beauty by Shelby. That's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all at Beauty by Shelby. I'll put that right up there for you so you can see it. And yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more Beauty by Shelby, then YouTube should be suggesting a couple videos down here for you to choose from. So I would love it if you did that. Thanks so much for watching today's video, you guys. Don't forget to leave me your thoughts below. I'm really interested in hearing what you have to say, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.